A guy goes into a restaurant for lunch. Eddie Murphy version. Shorter version by Eddie Murphy in Coming to America closing credits. What do you know from Funny Ya Bastards? A much more Jewish version of this is in a joke book from the 60s we had when I was a kid. Larry Adler's jokes and how to tell them. That one ends with a ha. Could have saved a few paragraphs if he asked for the spoon sooner. Last line could also be, the man shouted, aha. If you didn't receive any type of medical intervention, what age would you have naturally died? At birth, my umbilical cord was around my neck. 16 epilepsy. Without medical intervention, some 30 of us would be dead of smallpox before 20 years old. 17. Stage 4 cancer, I'm still here. Age 4, huge asthma attack. Birth, I was a breached baby feet first or 10 because I had a mini stroke, or 14 because I'm diabetic. I had the widowmaker artery blocked and would have just dropped over dead at 58. I was a runner at the time, so it was a huge surprise. In hindsight, all these sneaking love potions into drinks fairy tales are creepy AF. As mentioned, the Disney ones can be pretty bad already, but keep in mind, those are the severely sanitized fairy tales. Traditional ones tend to be way worse. I don't think any of them are what we would consider wholesome family again. They weren't supposed to be. They're cautionary moral tales. I read a manga recently where one of the side characters used a love potion on their unrequited love. It was made obvious in the narration boxes that the love potion was just a very powerful aphrodisiac, and the target ended up assaulting the character who used it. But I guess that was the goal all along. Most airport restaurants wouldn't survive outside the airport because planes would keep landing on them. If they were outside the airport, they wouldn't cost as much. Someone hasn't been to New Orleans Louis Armstrong Airport. The food in this airport is better than anything in most cities. Come to Minneapolis, St. Paul, where most of the restaurants in the airport are actually operated by real local restaurants that are doing fine. Several of the restaurants at the airport near me are just chains that survive just fine outside the airport. It's just paying the airport rent that makes them raise their prices. Same with the food vendors at big concerts and music festivals. My girlfriend dressed up as a policewoman and told me I was under arrest on suspicion of being good in bed. Your girlfriend couldn't find any hard evidence. Good thing you were able to escape conviction with just 2 minutes of interrogation. Sounds like you violated the penal code. Got off easy. Find yourself a good female lawyer. She'll get you off. Not mine, but too good to not post. Last time I saw this joke, I laughed so hard, I fell off my dinosaur. These allegations would never stand up in court. Your girlfriend does get best work undercover. Trying to see the dad joke here. I told the joke to my husband, he wasn't laughing. This is more of an uncle joke, too risque for children. TIL after an IVF mix-up, 2 mothers gave birth to each other's babies. 4 months after giving birth, the California families swapped babies to return the children to their rightful parents. What? You've already started bonding. Tough. Start again. The Cardinales and the Des are now suing CCRH for medical malpractice. They are seeking damages for the emotional and financial hardship they have experienced. Luckily, both the couples had babies. Imagine if only one did and had to give the baby to the other couple. Wow, what a horrible situation. This was 2 years ago. Any updates? Early exchange student. This was an episode of Dinosaurs. Till so long, and thanks for all the fish was written by Douglas Adams when his editor Sonny Mehta locked him in a hotel room to force him to write it after becoming fed up with Adams constantly procrastinating and failing to meet deadlines. I like his quote, "I love deadlines. I love the whooshing noise they make as they go by." One of Douglas Adams' editors publishers saying he was the only guy who made novel writing a spectator sport because they would have to stand over him as he typed to make sure he finished his books. Here is a quote from Adams about the incident. "Sonny Meta locked me in a hotel room and said, 'You're not coming out until you've finished the book.' I thought he was joking, but he wasn't. I had to write the book in 2 weeks." The CIA accidentally left explosives in the engine of a school bus. The bus was in operation for 2 days, carrying kids, before the explosives were discovered by mechanics. Why did the CIA put explosives in a school bus? Where else are you supposed to keep your explosives? I bet the guy who left them there still gets shit about it at parties. How was this an accident? That doesn't reflect very well on the bomb-sniffing dogs either. The Culinary Institute of America has certainly been branching out. What kind of bombs were involved, and were they retrieved before they'd melted? The invention of text messaging was absolutely life-changing for deaf people. Can confirm, daughter is deaf, game changer. As someone who isn't deaf, I can't confirm. Also great for stutterers. TTY is amazing for those who need to use the phone. That was a long time ago and was part of the American Disability Act. Not only for them, for all of us. Imagine a world without it. Then we probably would not have mobile phones and would not be reachable 24/7, but one can dream. And video calling for sign language. And voice support for blind persons. Not just deaf people. I have had surgery on my tongue for cancer and speaking is a challenge for me. What is the dumbest thing people called you gay for? I was called gay for showering daily. I was a child in the 80s. Calling people gay was standard derogatory talk for checks, notes, literally everything. Bad play in sport, choice of clothes, hobby, etc. Like giving oral to my wife. Will never understand that. As a little boy I played the flute, got called gay and teased hard for it. I was actually really good too in elementary school and was handpicked in the 5th grade to perform for my county along with other selected students. But the name calling got the better of me. I have always regretted never continuing with the flute in middle school and onward. I sometimes wonder how far that would have gotten me lol. Without prior medical imaging, you don't know if you have 2 kidneys. The prior imaging will have been done before you're ever born. During the anatomy scan around 20 weeks gestation. My friend in college found out when he was in high school that he had only one. His parents knew through birth checkups, but they didn't tell. His doctor was surprised during medical sonography. I found out I have 3 after multiple kidney stones, one small one sitting on the other. Urologist said that it's not uncommon and impossible to know unless they have to perform surgery. Literally 2 weeks ago, I got an ultrasound to see if I had both kidneys. I do. And I'm a little disappointed. We discovered my sister only has one, and it's almost double the size of a normal one. With something that everyone uses on a daily basis, but has no actual practical use. Meetings that could have been emails. Neckties. Fabric softener in the washer. Waste of money and actually destroys your clothes. Weakens the fibers, adds residue and perfume on your clothes. The majority of the adds a risk of making clothes less breathable by removing the ability for the fabric to reduce moisture from the skin. Bed skirt. Social media. Obviously, it's a great networking tool for some careers, but the average user is harmed by it. Doctor's appointments that could have been a phone call or a message on my cart, such as bringing you in to tell you your results are normal fine. Hi,